Deltarune is a game full of battles. But what if you tried to beat the game without those battles? Obviously, it would be impossible to do so. But if you ever heard of Mario Odyssey min caps, you'll understand what I'm attempting. Today, I tried to beat the game with the minimum number of battles possible. Take a guess at what you think this counter will be by the end of the speedrun. My goal was to try my best to keep this counter as close to 0 as possible. However, only like 2 minutes into the run, and we have a mandatory encounter with Lancer. Now since this is a speedrun, I was trying to go fast, but I screwed up 3-turn Lancer, so that lost 6 seconds. Oh no! But after Lancer, we can start trying to skip every battle. It went pretty well, until I met this guy. I spent like 7 minutes trying to find a way past this Rudin, but after finding the right speed and angle to speed by, I had another one to do with right after. This seemed doable, so I tried to get as much speed as possible, and hit the fucking edge of the wall. So I had to reset to my last save, and keep trying. After another 7 minutes, I was finally able to dodge the encounter and keep my battle counter at 1. I immediately saved so I would never have to feel the despair these 2 Rudins caused me again, but right after I saved, we got another mandatory encounter. These 3 Hathies. So now the battle counter is at 2. Great. At this rate, the counter is going to be at like 37 by the end of chapter 2. After getting Susie, and forgetting to add an encounter for this 1-foot tall checker guy, we had yet another scripted battle. This was getting out of hand. I just got like 4 essential battles in a span of 8 minutes. Hopefully this battle curse ends soon, or this counter is going to be in triple digits. After destroying the Jigsaw Freaks, I got stuck on yet another Rudin. Damn, what is with Rudins being the main boss of this run? It took me so long to finally sprint past this annoying pest, but then the Pawnman came up to me and I had to do it all over again. Fuck! Normally stuff like this would really irritate me, but honestly, I wasn't getting annoyed or frustrated at all. I don't know why, because when I'm writing the script, it sounds boring as hell. It's like, oh yeah, we made it past this guy, but then I got stuck on this guy not even 2 minutes later. Then after getting past him, we got stuck by yet another enemy. But apparently this video is still interesting enough for you to watch this far. So if you enjoy, please subscribe. Self-promotion aside, making it past both the Rudin and Pawnman took 20 whole minutes, and I was excited to finally see something different. But guess what happened after skipping the last 2 Pawnman? No, it was another Rudin. But it was the 5th unskippable encounter in this run. K-Round marks the halfway point of chapter 1, and only seeing 5 battles on the counter filled me with hope. Maybe it won't reach 37 after all. But let me tell you, chapter 2 came as a surprise to me. But for now, let's enter the forest, where we can actually skip some enemies. The forest probably has the least amount of enemies in chapter 1, but luckily, it doesn't require much skill to skip the encounters. Apart from these 2 Bloxers who are really annoying since they can phase through the goddamn wall. We also have the 6th unavoidable battle with Clover here, but other than that, the forest went pretty well. I let my chat decide the thrash machine. Okay guys, what thrash do you want? What head do you want? I'm letting chat decide. Make a hot machine? Yeah, that was a mistake. But then it was time for the maze. There aren't really a lot of encounters here, but there was this one Blockster that was so annoying. This guy literally runs faster than Sonic, and would just catch up to me every single time I try to dash past. It's probably possible to dodge them, but for the first time, I was starting to get annoyed. So I just added a point to the counter, and let this guy know the pain he caused me. After Susie and Lancer, which brought our encounter total to 8, it was time to storm the castle and take down the king. And the castle had 4 dodgeless encounters in Lancer, K-Round, the king, and the head Hathies that might be possible to escape from, but the time would be so damn precise, and I wasn't trying to be here all day trying to do something that might not even be possible. I ended chapter 1 with 12 battles on my counter, which was so much more than I remembered. Maybe I'm just too used to beating chapter 1 in half an hour, so all the battles just blur together. But having to actually stop and plan how to run past the Darkners made me realize just how many enemies are in chapter 1. Now we're in chapter 2, and it starts off with a scripted battle. But after that, we are good to basically roam free until we meet Birdly. I feel like I just want an autopilot here, because apparently we can ignore almost every single Darkener of the Cyberworld, and I don't remember any of it. I even forgot about the Sweet Cap and Case fight entirely. But then we got to Birdly. And I actually do remember this, because after falling into Cyber City, I spent ages trying to make it past this weird wire, before realizing I can literally just sprint forward at the top of the screen and be completely fine. So now we're fighting Birdly again, and holy fuck I'm tired of thinking of different ways to say required. But we're not done yet. because immediately after Birdly, we fight an unavoidable Spamton, which brought the total battles to 18. Up to this point, I thought Chapter 2 was going to be completely free, but meeting back up with Susie and Ralsei made me realize that I was going to be in trouble trying to keep this counter as close to 0 as possible. First, we had to fight these ambulances, since they're in the way of the switch, and are 100% impossible to avoid. Next, we had these mouse, which I always forget even exist. And then we were ready to enter the Queen's Mansion with 20 current total battles. The final fountain is near, and all I had to do was not fight any unnecessary darkners. But an issue arose not even 5 minutes into the mansion. There was this pottery minigame, where if you broke the pottery, the swashings would attack you. And since I was trying to speedrun the minimum number of battles, I would have to complete this minigame. Oh, I did it on my first try. But there was no time to rest, as Chris dropped the pot after Susie punched them, and this sent the entire room of swatchlings after me. If I was in a bad spot, there was no way I could flee in time. But luckily, I was stood in a spot where I could just run forward and not have to worry about them. Even so, this encounter is probably the most stressed I've been in the whole run, because if I fought them by accident, who knows how long it could have taken me to not only complete the minigame again, but also escape the room in time. The room right after the potted room was the location of Task Manager, and although we can help her with the paintings, we sadly still have to enter a battle to spare her. So now the counter is at 21. Not long after, I had to fight the mouse wheel to progress to the mansion, which added yet another battle to the encounter. If you can't tell, the mansion was a nightmare with all the necessary encounters. My fear of the counter reaching 37 was starting to come true. But if you're actually smart, unlike Burgley, you'll know that there is nothing to worry about. The mansion is almost complete, and there are physically not enough battles to even reach 37, let alone battles that we can't just run past. This was the moment when I realized what the final total would be. And if you realize as well, leave a like and comment down below. But if you're someone that doesn't know what the total will be, let me tell you the final 20 minutes of this speedrun. After meeting back up with the stupid bird, Susie left the party, and along with Ralsei, we went across the Acid River. When reaching the hand blockade, we can easily avoid the swear wire and lower the hand. Now we're fighting Rules, which was one of the final unskippable battles of this run. So after kicking his ass, I met back up with Susie, and there were only 3 more battles left. We can very easily skip Werewolf Wire, which I've never known you could skip until pretty recently. And now it's just Queen and Giga Queen left. And since they're both bosses, you can take a guess if we can run past them or not. Stop hitting me, I'm going to die. I have never seen the screen before. That is the first time I've ever died to you. The final counter stood strong at 25. With a final time of 2 hours, 32 minutes, and 4 seconds. And before you say it, yes, I know your timer is supposed to end in the light world, but I was too excited to finish the speedrun. We had beaten Deltarune with the minimum number of battles. But wait, this counter is actually wrong. Remember back in chapter 1 with the cheating Blockster and annoying as hell head Hathies? If it is in fact possible to dodge them, then we can knock 2 battles off the counter, bringing the total down to 23 mandatory encounters. Normally in these challenge runs, I feel nothing but pain and torture all the way through. But this was different. This new speedrun category was actually pretty dang fun. And although I wouldn't get a world record due to that Blockster and potential hit Hathi, I'm not disappointed, since I don't even have a clue how to make a new category in the first place. But hey, maybe in the future, I'll make this a real speedrun category, and all of you can submit times 12 times better than what I accomplished today. As for me, I think I'm going to continue torturing myself with new challenge runs for a while.